The internet is buzzing once again, and this time the scandal just got darker just when we thought the drama surrounding Erica Mana's shocking pregnancy reveal had reached its peak. New whispers are exploding across the blog's whispers that could put the entire narrative on its head. Allegedly, Erica's legal team is preparing to make a move that no one saw coming behind closed doors. Her lawyer has reportedly accused Mendeecees of interfering with the original DNA test. Yes, interfering fans are stunned. Could the test that confirmed he's the father be tainted? Is this why Erica's been so tense lately? Not. It's because of the result itself, but because of how that result came to be. Insider sources claim that the tension has reached a boiling point. Behind the scenes with Erica pushing for a new court-supervised DNA test, the allegation that someone close to Mendeecees may have had access to the first sample, and while no one speaking on record, yet anonymous tips are flooding social media and fans are demanding answers. Was the truth manipulated? Who's lying and who's about to be exposed? Stay close, because what's coming next could unravel everything the morning after the rumors broke the entire reality. TV world seemed to hit pause. Blog headlines popped up like wildfire. Instagram pages were flooded. Twitter threads were out of control. People weren't just gossiping anymore, they were investigating. And at the center of this swirling chaos was a single accusation that shook everyone to their beds. Everyone to their core. Erica's lawyer, in a closed-door conversation reportedly leaked by a courthouse assistant, was claiming that Mendeecees may have tampered with the original NATIS. That statement alone sent fans into a frenzy. How, why, and most importantly, what was he trying to hide? According to unconfirmed reports, the original nut test wasn't done through the court system but through a private clinic recommended by someone on Mendeecees' side. This immediately raised eyebrows. Erica's camp had allegedly been skeptical about the process from the beginning, but agreed for the sake of moving forward quickly. Now, after weeks of silence, they were preparing to blow the lid off what they claim is a massive deception, and the timing suspiciously close to the upcoming Day 1 reunion taping. Fans started asking if this was all orchestrated, or was it something more sinister? A cover-up that went wrong. Sources close to Erica revealed that she'd been pushing for a second test quietly for weeks, but now her legal team was preparing to make it public, and not just public, but legal. They wanted the courts involved. They wanted the second test done under official supervision, with chain of custody tracking every step of the way. No private clinics, no backdoor arrangements, just cold, hard facts. And while Mendeecees hasn't publicly addressed these claims, those around him are reportedly scrambling. One insider said he looked calm before, but now he's rattled. He thought this was over. According to that same source, Mendeecees had been trying to negotiate a quiet agreement with Erica behind the scenes, offering support, arranging visitations, trying to paint himself as involved, but all of that changed the moment Erica's legal team started hinting at interference. Suddenly, the stakes weren't just about parenting, they were about integrity, reputation, and possibly even legal consequences. Erica, meanwhile, hasn't made any direct statements, but her social media activity tells a different story. She posted a photo of her baby's bassinet with a caption that read, "She'll know the truth no matter how ugly it is." Fans immediately interpreted that as a direct shot at Mendeecees. The comments exploded. "You deserve justice, don't let them silence you." And even, "We knew something was off with that first test." Within hours, pantries were everywhere, some claimed. The denial paperwork that leaked weeks ago had inconsistencies. Others pointed to the timing. Why had Mendeecees been so quiet for days after the results came out? And then why did he suddenly post a vague story about truth being twisted? It was enough to make anyone suspicious, and Erica's silence wasn't helping. It was making things louder. Every story she didn't respond to became a headline every time she didn't deny something, people assumed it must be true. Things got even messier when a screenshot started circulating. Allegedly, it was from a text conversation between Saman Anuratha's team and the clinic that performed the first test. The message asked a simple question. Can you confirm the sample was collected by your staff and not dropped off by a third party? The response was blurred, but fans claimed it read, "We received the sample from a verified party online." Yandi's name inevitably got pulled back into the mess she had been trying to stay quiet, stay out of the chaos. But fans weren't having it. They started tagging her in every post. Are you seeing this? Do you still believe in "Now you owe Orika an apology"? And while Yandandi didn't respond directly, a cryptic story appeared on her page. Just a few hours later, a black screen with white text, "When people show you who they are, believe them." No name, no explanation, but everyone knew what it meant. Photographers caught Mendeecees leading a private meeting in Midtown Manhattan. Reportedly with his legal advisor, when asked about the second test, he didn't say a word, not even no comment, just kept his head down and got into the car. But the tension on his face said everything. Fans were watching every move, every blink, every social post, and they weren't thoughting back. Erika's lawyer, though unnamed in the media, was suddenly the most talked about figure in the story. Outlets began trying to uncover their identity, dinging through court filings, looking for any clue. While nothing concrete surfaced, a few journalists claimed to have spoken with people inside the legal circle. One reporter tweeted, "I spoke to someone close to Erika's legal team. They're serious, they have questions about the test, about how the samples were collected, and about who had access. This isn't a storyline, it's a strategy just when people thought it couldn't get more complicated." A former employee of the clinic, where the first test was conducted, entered the spotlight. She posted a TikTok claiming she was fired just a week after the results became public. Her video was vague, almost too vague to be believable, but fans ate it up. She said, "I'm not saying anything happened, I'm just saying sometimes people get paid to look the other way. And when you don't take the money, they make sure you leave quietly." The video got millions of views in just a few hours. Blogs picked it up, podcasts did emergency episodes. Suddenly, this wasn't just a reality tease scandal anymore. It was starting to look like a potential legal mess, possibly even criminal tampering. With the end test wasn't just too unethical, it could carry consequences, and if it turned out someone had tried to manipulate the results to avoid responsibility, the fallout could be massive. Sources close to Erika said the next step would be filing a formal motion requesting a new court-supervised test, not just that they wanted an investigation into how the first test was handled. Names, documents, video footage from the clinic chain of custody, logs, everything. They weren't playing games anymore. Meanwhile, internet sleuths kept speculating. Fans picked apart the original leaked test document, line by line, hunting for discrepancies. 1. Reddit user theorized the document had been altered digitally. Another pointed out that the date format didn't match the clinic's usual standard. Were they reaching maybe? Or maybe they were onto something. Big Mendeecees' team remained silent. No denial, no clarification. That silence only fueled the fire. Everyone was waiting for someone, anyone, to address the rumors. Then Erika herself broke her silence. She posted a black and white video clip. "I told y'all the truth would come out. Now watch it unfold." The caption read, "Justice always finds a way." And in that moment, the drama reached a new fever pitch. The moment Erika's video dropped, social media exploded into chaos. Every news outlet scrambled to cover the bombshell, and midnight live streams popped up with endless speculation. In one of the most watched reaction videos, a popular blogger sat with wide eyes, reading Erika's caption aloud, "Justice always finds a way." He paused dramatically and said, "Did you hear that she's not playing games anymore?" Fans typed #justice for within seconds, and the hashtag began trending worldwide. The scandal had officially shifted from tabloid fodder to a full-blown public trial. Inside the courthouse, Erika's lawyer arrived early the next morning, carrying a thick file folder that the paparazzi swarmed to capture. Whispers circulated that the motion to order a court-supervised Nino retest was filed overnight. According To court insiders, the filing demanded not only a second test but also an independent chain of custody supervisor surveillance. Footage of sample collection and testimony from every technician who handled the original sample, the language was forceful, accusing unknown parties of potential interference and demanding unrestricted access to verify the baby's paternity once and for all. Meanwhile, Mendeecees was spotted in a tense scene outside his lawyer's office. Sources say he paced back and forth, phone glued to his ear, voice, "Don't push back hard, this gets out of control." When asked by a reporter if he would consent to the court-ordered test, he simply shook his head and walked inside without comment. The refusal only added fuel to the fire. Fans took it as a sign of guilt, flooding his social media with accusations. Of courtesan deceit on the other side, Yan Dandi was forced to address the swirling rumors after a video surfaced of her entering a private hearing room. Minutes later, a brief statement was released on her behalf. "This is a matter of personal integrity, and I fully support any course that leads to the absolute truth." The carefully crafted sentence hinted at her alignment with Erica's demands, and viewers interpreted it as a betrayal of Mendeecees. Once again, the family was left divided with alliances. Shifting by the minute back in court, the judge agreed to fast-track the hearing. An overflow crowd of journalists, fans, and curious onlookers packed the hallway, vying for spots near the courtroom window. Inside, the atmosphere was tense. Erica's lawyer, Rose's first voice, steady but passionate, "Your Honor, the integrity of this process is in question. Our client has reason to believe that the original NOT test was compromised. We are not making unsubstantiated claims. We are seeking facts. This is about protecting a child's right to know their identity." Spectators watched as court documents were passed around, each page marked with highlighted sections accusing unnamed individuals of unauthorized sample handling. Meng's attorney stood up next, voice measured. "While we respect the court's concern for due process, we must note that all standard procedures were followed. Our client did not interfere with the sample. Any suggestions otherwise are baseless and harmful. To force a second test would not only vilify my client but also subject an innocent child to unnecessary stress." There was a ripple through the courtroom. The clash between these two statements set the stage for a dramatic standoff. After a short recess, surveillance footage was introduced. The judge's clerk played a few seconds of grainy video from the clinic hallway showing lab technicians moving boxes and carrying vials. The footage was too blurred to confirm identities, but the implication was clear. Questions remained. As the video faded, a hush fell over the room. Fans watching live streams of the hearing erupted in chat, calling it proof of cover-up or too blurry v. The tension was palpable. Even though nobody knew exactly what happened, everyone felt something. Did once court adjourn for the day, Erica headed straight to the camera stationed outside, honing her file folder like a shield. She said, voice thick with emotion, "We will not rest until the truth is revealed. No one should be above accountability. Not in my family, not in my city, not on my watch." Many praised her composure, calling it strength personified. Others criticized her for making a surface of her child's paternity, but one thing was certain: she had seized control of the iterative hours. Later, a social media account claiming to be a whistleblower from the clinic posted a photo of an internal memo titled "Sample Handling Protocol." It outlined chain of custody procedures, but included a footnote that suggested an override protocol. For sensitive samples, the footnote was unsigned and undated, but it threw the internet into overdrive. Was that evidence of tampering? Fans demanded the memo's origin be revealed. Of one, insiders whispered that producers were scrambling to keep the explosive documents off the reunion episode. As night fell, drama shifted back to Men's. A leaked audio clip surfaced of him on the phone, leading a staffer to delete any emails referencing the override protocol. The clip was low quality but clear enough for headlines. Mendeecees caught trying to cover up override memo. Fans say his team rushed to label the recording unauthorized and staged, but by then the rumor mill had gone into overdrive. Nobody was waiting for official statements. They wanted updates, twists, and cliffhangers. The next morning, an unexpected twist: Erica's new attorney appeared on a popular daytime talk show offering fresh details. She claimed that during the first test, a crier had delivered the sample outside regular hours. The name on the manifest didn't match anyone on record. That single discrepancy, she said, was enough to warrant skepticism. The host leaned forward, eyes wide. "So you're saying someone planted that sample?" The attorney gave a cryptic smile. "I'm saying the court needs to know everything." That's all the audience gasped, and social media exploded once more concurrently. Yan Dendi released a longer written statement on her Instagram story at Ice Cold Facts. She wrote, "This isn't about me versus her. It's about truth. If there was an error or interference, a child deserves to know without question. I stand with that always." The post garnered millions of views in minutes. Fans praised her for being above the drama and insisted she was the real hero of the scandal men. DC's tried to regain footing with the live video from his home. He'd appeared tired, eyes red. He said, "I've answered every question behind closed doors. I've done nothing wrong. This is tearing my family apart." But his camera accidentally captured a glimpse of a document on his desk marked "Override Policy." Within seconds, that brief screenshot was zoomed in and screenshotted, sparking accusations of further cover-up. His attempt at transparency had backfired. Spectacularly, the Levo battle intensified when Erica's team filed for an emergency hearing too. Subpoenaed clinic records and staff testimony. The court date was set for the following week. It's the same week as the highly anticipated reunion special. This scheduling battle added a new layer of tension, with the paternity hearing overshadow the reunion, with the drama distract from the network's carefully planned ratings event. Insiders said tensions were high, with producers scrambling to edit segments. To mention the courtroom saga inside the reunion rehearsal studio, host noticed Erica seemed distracted during a walkthrough. She practiced her lines but kept glancing at her phone. A producer whispered, "The hearing could break at any moment." NBC's arrived next, looking stoic but pallid. He offered a slight nod to Erica, the first public acknowledgement between them in weeks. The air crackled. Fans live tweeting rehearsals speculated, will they confront each other on stage? Are they trying to get a reaction? The buzz was deafening. Meanwhile, an investigative blogger claimed to have tracked down the private courier who delivered the first sampline. A dramatic post, she wrote, "I met with the courier. He says he delivered multiple samples that night, not just Mondays. He can't remember who dropped them off." This uncertainty fueled theories that the sample could have been swapped. Fans demanded proof. Some even offered bounties for the courier's identity. The scandal had taken on a life of its own, a mix of legal, thriller, and reality TV meltdown as public pressure mounted. Social media influencers jumped in. One reality star posted, "If this wasn't true, why aren't they just saying so? Nah, doesn't lie." Another posted, "Family drama or criminal cover-up, sounds like both." The conversation became relentless. By the end of the day, Google searches for DMs and override policy were through the roof. Advertisers were sweating. Sponsors asked for damage control. The network's per team was in full crisis mode just days before the hearing. Steam released a statement. "Through his management, we welcome all investigations. The truth will prevail. To our fans, thank you for your patience." But the vague optimism did little to stem the tide. Erica's following grew exponentially, and her supporters rallied behind the #truth for hashtag. Fan art, protest memes, and slogan t-shirts began appearing online. It felt less like a reality show and more like a grassroots movement demanding justice. And then, in a final twist before the court date, Erica's lawyer submitted an affidavit from a lab technician who had since gone missing. The affidavit, obtained under seal, claimed the technician was ordered to rerun the test. After hours with altered standards, the bombshell document was filed under confidential cover, but word leaked anyway. The legal stakes had just skyrocketed. Tampering allegations were now supported by sworn testimony. With the hearing looming, the family drama reached its peak. Cameras, lawyers, fans, and insiders all locked in on the courthouse. Everyone was asking the same question. Would the truth finally come out as sunrise broke over the city? The scene was set for a confrontation that threatened to rewrite every chapter of this saga. The next act would determine not just the child's paternity, but the fate of 3 lives intertwined. In betrayal, scandal, and the relentless pursuit of truth, courthouse steps were already crowded when the doors opened, camera crews jostled for position, and a sea of flashbulbs lit up. The entrance inside the gallery was packed, fans wearing #Truth4 shirts sat side by side with tabloid journalists taking furious notes at the front. Erica's lawyer stood ready, files piled high on the counsel table on the other side. Menk sat with his attorney, hands clasped, face pale but determined. The judge entered, gave the room to order, and the hearing began. First up was the testimony of the clinic's chain of custody supervisor under oath. She described the standard protocol for collecting and logging data samples: unique barcodes, seal containers, lock storage. She insisted she never saw any irregularities, but when Erica's attorney pressed her on the courier's after-hours deliveries, her composure cracked. I can't confirm that," she stammered, glancing nervously at the prosecutor's bench. "I wasn't on W that night." Murmurs rippled through the courtroom. Fans on livestream chat exploded. "Gotcha, that's an admission." The judge called for a brief recess outside. Erica paced near the witness entrance. Her phone buzzed nonstop with supportive messages and demands for updates. Inside Mendeecees' corner was equally tense. His attorney whispered advice in his ear, reminding him to keep calm. Mendeecees closed his eyes, took a deep breath, then stepped forward as the next witness was sworn in. The former clinic employee who claimed she'd been fired from the moment she took the stand. All eyes were on her. She spoke softly at first, eyes downcast, but then her voice strengthened. "I was let go because I refused to override a sample log," she said. The courtroom fell silent. Erica's lawyer seized the moment. "Can you explain what you saw?" "I was asked to sign a document that said the samples were verified," she replied, "but I knew the chain of custody wasn't followed when I refused. I was terminated holding back tears." She added, "I did what was right." The gallery erupted in applause and cheers, quickly hushed by court officers outside on the steps. Reporters shouted questions. "Is this the proof you needed?" Erica, one anchor asked. Erica, flanked by her lawyer, refused to comment. Inside, Mendeecees looked visibly shaken. His attorney objected and tried to discredit the witness, calling her a disgruntled ex-employee, but under cross-examination, she produced an internal email she downloaded before leaving a message referencing an override protocol. For certain samples, the judge allowed the email as evidence. Screen grabs flickered across the courtroom monitor, and fans watching online cheered again. Next, Erica's lawyer called the surprise witness a tech expert who scanned the leaked NA document. He explained that the metadata showed signs of digital editing, timestamps inconsistent with the clinic server logs. "This document has been altered," he stated. "The date fields and font encoding don't match the original template." Flashes went off as journalists captured every word. In the back row, Yanni sat stoically, her arms folded. She caught Erica's eye briefly, and Erica gave a slight nod of gratitude when Mendeecees' team presented their own expert, the clinic's former IT administrator. He disputed the metadata claims, argued with it server migrations could cause timestamp anomalies. He maintained the original document was authentic, but under further questioning, he admitted the clinic had undergone a software update the same week the test was processed. Viewers at home typed furiously, "Conspiracy software glitch" or "cover up." The debate ignited across social media. The hearing dragged on for hours. Arguments flared when Erica's lawyer demanded the clinic produce the security footage from the night of the test. Menk's attorney countered that those tapes were routinely overwritten after 30 days. Footage no longer existed. Another bombshell: an IT technician, Bayarka, testified that backups existed but were never archived properly. They could have preserved the recordings, he said, but they chose not to. The courtroom gasped as the afternoon sun streamed through the high windows. Tempers grew short. Men's, who had been quiet all day, suddenly rose for cross-examination. His voice, uncharacteristically firm, addressed the overriding protocol directly. "I never asked anyone to tamper with results. I didn't even know there was such a protocol." He paused, meeting Erica's gaze. "I want to be a good father. If something went wrong, I'll do a new test, but I'm being punished." For Rumorsh's admission, offering to submit immediately shifted the momentum. Fans watching in real time exploded in the live stream chat. He blinked. Did that just seal it? Shortly after, the prosecution entered the clincher, a notarized affidavit from the courier who delivered the first sample on camera. The courier testified via video link that he was paid extra to deliver samples after hours and that the clinic manager told him to treat the package with priority. He insisted he delivered several samples that evening but could not confirm which one was Mendeecees. When asked if anything felt off, he said, "Locked coolers and camera equipment." Erica greeted them with a weary nod, her infant daughter cooing nearby. The technicians explain each step in hushed clinical tones, securing the baby's swab, labeling wheels, and recording every detail. Erica watched intently, as if each click of the camera sealed the chapter of doubt. After the sample was collected, Erica exhaled deeply, relieved that the process was transparent. Fans online posted screenshots. "Finally, a clean process, and can't mess with that." Next, the team moved to Mendeecees' residence. The paparazzi had staked out his driveway, desperate for footage. When the cameras caught sight of Dr. Park's car, they panned to Mendeecees, who stood on the porch looking resolute. He performed the swab under precise instructions, hands steady. Despite the glare of lights, Erica's followers watched the live stream, divided between relief that the second test was happening and skepticism that Mendeecees was merely playing along. His silence during the procedure, deafening without a word. He handed the V back, his expression unreadable. The samples were then transported to a secure third-party lab under armed guard, details that only intensified the drama. Social media canals lit up with speculation about how long the results would take, whether leaks would surface, or if the court would demand further oversight. Influencers started countdown timers, then a drop in 72 hours, and waiting for babies. Truth Podcast scheduled special episodes, blogs published speculative upbeats. The story became a 247 spectacle, a legal thriller, fueled by celebrity intrigue. While waiting, both camps scrambled their PR teams. Erica's manager planned a statement celebrating transparency and justice. Manx's advisors drafted talking points about respecting the court's process and supporting the best for the child. Yandi circled debate whether she should reach out to reporters or maintain silence. The dance of public perception continued, each move calculated to win hearts, or at least neutralize criticism. Sponsors began monitoring mentions, nervous about their brands being associated with scandal. Meanwhile, in living rooms around the world, fans posted reaction memes. One showed Erica as an avenging angel. Another depicted Mendeecees as a reluctant warrior in a battle suit, trending hashtags more. First hashtag truth for B, then hashtag not drama, then #courts of justice. Some fans even pledged donations for Dr. Park's lab fees, joking that they were investing in Dina democracy. The sensationalism reached fever pitch. The process, meant to be discreet, was anything but. Through it all, the baby remained blissfully unaware at the center of the storm. Erica and Handy took turns caring for her, shielding her from cameras as best they could. A rare photo emerged of the child sleeping peacefully, tagged "Innocence in Chaos." Many fans softened, reminding themselves that beyond the scandal lay innocent life. Some pledged to support the child regardless of paternity. The raw human element pierced the spectacle, adding depth to the saga. Finally, the day of the results arrived. Dr. Park's team returned to the courtroom with the seal plates. The gallery packed once more as the judge prepared to reveal. Neither side spoke. Silence heavy. The clerk broke the seal. Dr. Park handed a type report to the judge, whose eyes scanned rapidly. A flicker of reaction crossed his face, but nothing more, the judge announced. He would read the findings at a brief hearing set for the next morning. Then, as quickly as it started, The session adjourned. The hush that followed was profound. No premature cheers, no online celebrations, music, hey, hey, hey music. Collective breath held outside the press stood waiting, but both Erica and Mendeecees left without comment. Their lawyers emerged with measured statements. We look forward to tomorrow, and the truth will speak for itself. Yandi's story remained untouched. The child's crib sat in silence. The final arbiter of everything that night, social media buzzed with anticipation, and Dread fans speculated wildly with the results. Vindicate Aretha's claims or restore Mendeecees' reputation? Was the saga about to end or shift into an even darker chapter? Some sleepless viewers made bets, others set alarms, and as the city lights dimmed, the world waited, caught between the hope for closure and the fear of yet another twist in this incredible courtroom drama. The courtroom drama has now reached its fever pitch, and the second Mendeecees is poised to deliver the final verdict. Erica's relentless pursuit of the truth forced the court to acknowledge cracks in the original process, and every twist from the courier's confession to the metadata experts' bombshell proved just how high the stakes really are. Mendeecees agreed to the supervised retest, revealing vulnerability beneath his steely exterior. Yandi's measured support for transparency reminded us that this isn't about taking sides, but about protecting a child's right to clarity, even with the samples secured. Under Dr. Park's watchful eye, the looming Judgment Day holds more questions than answers. Will the new results confirm cast suspicions or vindicate Mind's claims of innocence? How will Yandandi respond if she learns the truth she's been waiting for? And no matter the outcome, what does this mean for a family fractured by scandal and fans divided by loyalty? As you watch this saga unfold, ask yourself, whose narrative will prevail?